How to survive summer camp. Though you may be dreading summer camp and think you'll be spending your time counting down the days until you can be back at home, you can learn to survive and even to love summer camp if you change your attitude. To make it through summer camp, you'll need to work on embracing the unknown, making friends, and stepping out of your comfort zone. If you make an effort to have a good time, you'll be wishing you could stay at camp all year long before you know it. Part 1: Making Preparations. 1. Give your friends and family members your address at camp. If you're going to sleepaway camp and are nervous about being homesick, then one of the first things you can do is find out your address and give it to your friends and family members. Getting a letter from a sibling or a best friend can help you feel loved and connected to the place you temporarily left behind. If you want to make an extra effort to get your friends to write to you, you can even hand them envelopes that are stamped and addressed to you, so that all they have to do is write the letter, place it in the envelope, and send it on its way. 2. Bring cool stuff with you. One way to make summer camp more fun for yourself is to bring more stuff that you like with you. Though you should look into the rules at your camp to know what is and is not permissible, it can be important to bring some extra cool things that may not strictly be necessary, but which might help you make some new friends or just pass the time. Here are some things to consider. 3. You can bring things you can easily share with friends, such as accessories, candy, a fun game, such as Mad Libs, a photo album of their friends, or even some colorful pens and notebook paper. 4. You could also bring cards, action figures, sports magazines, or other toys or games that would appeal to other people in the camp. 5. Be extra prepared when packing for sleepaway camp. If you're packing for sleepaway camp, then you may want to pack more than just what the website or camp brochure says you need to bring. Though you want to avoid having any items you're not allowed to bring, you should try to pack as much useful stuff as you can without going overboard so you don't feel at a loss when you get to camp. Here are some things you can do. Bring more underwear than you think you'll need. It's better to be safe than to be stuck doing laundry when you don't feel like it. 6. Bring stuff that reminds you of home, but not too much stuff. It can make you feel a bit more comfortable to bring your favorite stuffed animal, a picture of your parents or your kitty, or your favorite blanket or pillow from home. This can make you feel less alone and can make you feel safer in a place where everything feels new and strange. However, you want to avoid bringing too much stuff from home, or you'll be too focused on everything you left behind to focus on all the great things that are happening right in front of you. Though you should bring some things that remind you of home, make sure to leave some room in your bag for things you may be bringing back from camp, whether it's photos of you and your new friends or an arts and crafts creation you're proud of. You may find that you'll be camp sick as soon as you return home. 7. Check out the camp's website for any additional information you may need. These days, a lot of camps are getting more technologically savvy and are posting information for their campers on the internet. If your camp is like this, then you should spend some time looking over what you need to bring to camp at least a few weeks before the start date so you're not scrambling to get everything ready at the last possible minute. Go over this list with your parents so you can both work on having everything you need. The website may also give you other useful information about what to expect when you're there, from what the bunking situation will be like to what a typical day at camp will look like for you. 8. Bring or wear comfortable clothes. Though you probably want to look your best at camp, you should remember that you won't necessarily be wearing the same clothes to camp as you typically wear to school and that you should plan to dress more casual. You can bring clothes that are comfortable and which are similar to gym clothes for more physical activities, and should bring plenty of big T-shirts, cotton shorts, tank tops, or other clothes that you can move around in. You should also make sure to have at least 1 or 2 pairs of sneakers so you can comfortably hike, run, or participate in other physical activities. You can also bring some nicer clothes to wear during non-physical activities, but you shouldn't feel the pressure to look as dressed up as you might look at school. Bring more dressy clothes if you'll need them for a special event. If your camp has a final dance or another more formal event, it's important to be prepared for that, too. Part 2: Making the most of your time. 1. Reach out to new people as soon as you can. Everyone is a little shy on the first few days of camp, even the most outgoing people. However, camp will only last for 2 months or so it's important to start making friends as soon as you can so people don't break up into social groups and leave you hanging. Just smile, be friendly, say hi to new people and ask them where they're from. You can also ask kids to join you at a certain activity, whether you're swimming in a lake or heading to an archery class. The sooner you make an effort to make friends, the sooner you'll be having a great time at camp. One way to quickly make new friends is to give people a sincere compliment. Just saying something like, "I like your necklace," can make a person feel that you're friendly and approachable. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. You don't have to start looking for your best friend right away or only talk to kids who look like people you'd be friends with in school. Go out on a limb and talk to someone who may not look or act like your type of person. You may be pleasantly surprised. Sharing your things is a great way to make new friends. Offer a new friend some of your homemade cookies, a magazine, or an accessory or game, and you'll be able to bond more quickly. 2. Sign up for as many activities as you want. Summer camp is all about going out of your comfort zone and taking risks. While you may be wary of horseback riding or archery, you should sign up for those classes precisely for that reason. Don't limit yourself and try as many new things as possible so that you can find something you really care about in the process. Even if the activity you choose doesn't end up being your cup of tea, you may make a new friend or 3 in the process. If you're not sure what to pick, try to pick an activity that is the most social, so you'd be likely to make a lot of friends. However, if there's something you've really wanted to try, such as painting or woodworking, and it's less popular with the kids, don't let that stop you from exploring something you're interested in. It's fun to go outside your area of expertise, though. If you've never acted and even feel a bit nervous on stage, try signing up for a theater class. If the class is going to perform a play towards the end of the camp session, you can aim for a small role or even to work backstage. 3. Leave time to decompress. Though camp is all about the hustle and bustle, you should try to carve out a bit of time for yourself, especially if you're more of the introverted type who needs his alone time. Whether you get up a few minutes early to do some light stretching or journaling or you read in bed for half an hour before lights out, it's important to make just a bit of time for yourself so you don't get too wound up. That said, you shouldn't miss out on too many social opportunities because of me time. If you're feeling kind of sad and sulky and like being alone, it's okay to do that for a little while as you regain your energy. However, you'll be having fun much more quickly if you force yourself to get up and join an activity, whether you're singing by the campfire or playing Red Rover. 4. Try to complain as little as possible. Sure, there are annoying things about every summer camp, from pesky mosquitoes to soggy food to counselors who are less than kind. However, there are also plenty of great things to be happy about, from the nice weather to the beautiful campgrounds, and you should work on talking about the things you love about camp instead of the things you hate. If you start complaining, then your friends will start complaining too, and pretty soon you'll be headed in a downward spiral of negativity and will find yourself feeling much less happy than you would have been if you had focused on the positive. Besides, if you get a reputation of being the kid who complains all the time, then people will be less inclined to hang out with you. It's okay to get something off your chest every once in a while. But if you catch yourself making a negative comment, try to counter it with 2 positive comments later in the conversation. 5. Get on your counselor's good side. Though it can be fun to tease and even to taunt your camp counselor, if you want to make the most of your time at camp, then you should try to be as nice and friendly to your counselor as you can, without making it seem like you're sucking up. If you're friendly with your counselor, then your time at camp will be easier, and you may even be able to get away with a bit more. You don't need to stick by your counselor's side all the time to form a fun, friendly relationship with him or her. Remember that, however mature they may seem, camp counselors are often just a handful of years older than you. Just like ordinary people, they can get overwhelmed by intense, stressful situations, especially if they have 15 kids all competing for their attention at once. If you see that your counselor could use a bit of help carrying, cleaning, or organizing something, step up to the plate. Of course, you don't want to get a reputation for being a suck-up and to try so hard to please your counselor that you end up alienating some of the other kids. Just treat him or her with kindness and respect and you'll be on your way to having a great time at camp. 6. Volunteer to help. Summer camp can be even more fun if you feel more involved in the action. If your counselor or chief administrators at camp ask for a volunteer to help them clean or carry something, or to take over a small additional responsibility, don't be afraid to raise your hand. Getting another friend or 2 to help can make the whole thing even more fun. While you may be reluctant to do something that feels like extra work, volunteering can make you feel more involved and active in the daily activities of your camp. Volunteering will also make you feel good for helping others, even if you're just carrying some boxes over to a different part of the camp or cleaning up an old campfire. 7. Stay in touch with your friends when camp is over. Most times, you won't even realize that the end of camp is creeping up on you. You might have had an amazing time and made some memories you will never forget with new people who have changed your life forever. However, you might be feeling shy about what to do once camp is over and you return back to your normal life. Don't be shy about asking your new friends for their numbers, if they will be your Facebook friends, or even if you can talk on the phone once camp is over. This will make you love your camp experience even more. If your camp friends happen to live pretty close to you, then you can even make plans to hang out after the fun is over. This can be a great way to grow closer to your new friends and to reminisce about camp memories. If you stay in touch with your new friends at camp, then you'll be even more excited to return the following summer. Part 3. Staying strong. 1. Get used to some of the discomfort. Even if your summer camp experience is like paradise, it won't come without some discomfort. The best thing you can do is accept it and learn to live with it. Yes, there will be more mosquitoes than there are in your bedroom at home. Yes, it may be harder to sleep with 20 other people in the cabin with you. Yes, some days you may just want to take a break and read a magazine or watch TV, and that may not be possible. However, once you let go of the fact that some of the negative aspects of camp are outside of your control, you'll be able to accept them and will embrace all of the positive things that camp has to offer. Sure, no one likes mosquito bites, but complaining about them won't make them go away, either. Instead, look for practical solutions, such as bug spray or mosquito netting, to make them less likely to bother you and move on from there. 2. Don't get sucked into drama. Unfortunately, there are times when camp can feel just as catty as middle or high school. Some girls like to be part of cliques, make fun of others, and start gossiping on occasion. Though this shouldn't be the norm at camp, if you find yourself in one of these situations, do your best to stay out of it and to not pick sides. If your friends are gossiping or spreading rumors, excuse yourself from the drama and spend more time with positive people who have nice things to say about other people. If you're the target of the drama, then you just have to learn to keep your head up and not let it get to you. Don't fight fire with fire by starting more rumors about the people who spread them, and work on brushing the bad vibes off your shoulder and finding people who make you feel good about yourself. 3. Feel loved by your friends at home. If you're having a bad day or week at camp or just feel like you can't get along with anyone, then you need to remind yourself about all of the amazing friends who care about you back home, even if they're far away. Read letters they wrote you, write them letters, or even make a phone call to them if it's allowed, to see that there are plenty of people who do think you're special. While you want to work on adapting to your new environment as much as you can, thinking of your friends during a hard time can help make you feel more comforted. If you brought a few photos of your friends from back home to camp, then looking through them can remind you of the good times and make you feel loved. Just don't mope or focus on your friends back home too much, or you'll be making it more difficult for yourself to make new friends. 4. Become more adventurous. You may not be liking summer camp because you feel like there are too many things you're not suited for, whether it's spending a long time out in the sun or going horseback riding or hiking. However, if you want to stay strong at camp, you can't let yourself think you're not strong, skilled, or smart enough to participate in the many activities your camp has to offer. Tell yourself that you only have a few weeks to try a variety of cool new things and work on trying out the things that initially scared you. You'll find that you'll be growing as a person and liking camp much more in the process. You don't have to dive into something you're completely afraid of head first. Instead, you can ease yourself into the new activities. For example, if you're afraid of going off the high dive, don't run and dive right off of it with your eyes closed. Instead, work on jumping off the sides of the pool or the low dive into the water, until you've built up the courage to jump off the high dive properly. 5. Respect your authority figures. To make the most of your time at camp, you should avoid getting into arguments with the heads of the camp or even finding yourself being punished for misbehaving. Though it may be tempting to act out if you're not having a good time, or just because you're used to following less rules in the summertime, if you want to enjoy your time at camp, you should work on being friendly and agreeable with the heads and counselors at your camp and following the rules as much as you can. Your time at camp won't be nearly as fun if you spend half of it being in trouble instead of being allowed to spend time with your friends. If you're unclear about some of the rules, such as curfew or what you can do in the pool, don't be afraid to ask a counselor. You'll be better off asking extra questions instead of breaking a rule without knowing it. 6. Know that homesickness is natural. If you find yourself feeling extremely homesick, whether you're going to day camp or spending 2 months at sleepaway camp, the first thing you should know is that these feelings are perfectly natural. Don't be embarrassed about them and even talk about them with a counselor or your new friends. You'll find that you're not alone and that everyone is missing home at least a little bit. Just talk to your family if you can, look at things that remind you of home, and then work to move forward and to join in on some of the fun activities your camp has to offer. While it can be helpful to acknowledge your feelings of homesickness instead of being in denial, it's also important to work on keeping busy as soon as you can so you can find something to take your mind off of home. The more of an effort you make to make new friends, the less you'll be missing your old ones. Don't think of this as trying to replace your old friends, but simply as trying to branch out. 7. Just remember that camp makes you a better person. Though you might have rolled your eyes when your mom or dad told you that summer camp builds character, you should know that this is actually completely true. Kids who go to summer camp develop a greater sense of independence when they learn to live apart from their parents. They also gain self-esteem from trying new activities they never thought they were capable of mastering. What's more, they gain social skills because they learn how to make friends more easily. Even if you feel like you can't wait to get back home, just tell yourself that being at camp is actually good for you. You may not feel like you've grown as a person or benefited much from your camp experience while you're there, but when you return home, you'll see that you've become a stronger, more dynamic person as a result of your time at camp. Tips. If you have friends that want to go to summer camp, don't try to talk them out of it, but you can tell them what to expect. If you have a family guide, share it with your parents to find other ideas for the summer. If your summer camp experience is disastrous, tell your parents what happened to you, and you don't want to go back. If your parents say, maybe it was the wrong camp and another camp will be better for you, tell your parents that summer camp is an option, not an obligation, and hopefully, they'll listen. Make sure to take lots of pictures of you and your new friends to share with your friends and family back home. Warnings. Summer camp is not for everyone. If summer camp doesn't agree with you, find other activities you enjoy and even go on a summer vacation trip.